Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Scaling Effect. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Aile, I go by Daytem, and I will be your Dungeon Master tonight. We are thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. This game follows the events of A Divergent Dream, and we are joined by some familiar faces and some not so familiar. In this adventure, our heroes will learn more about the incoming dangers that the Eldritch Evils mean to this plane. We may, or not, visit the Feywild. For those who are new to Dungeons & Dragons, everyone here plays a fantasy character in a fantasy universe. The 4 players each have their own unique character with sheets that tell them who they are, what they can do, their deepest secrets, and what dice to roll. They will mostly be rolling a 20-sided die to see if they succeed or not. 20s are good, 1s are hilariously bad. And while they play the characters, everything else is played by me. People, monsters, weather, you name it. Between me describing the war and story, the players describing what they want to do, and some dice to, represent chaos, we will tell our story. Now, let's meet our players.
Hi, I'm Evie, I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Winnow, who uses they, them pronouns. Winnow is a Way of Mercy monk, and is also a changeling that does not have any changeling abilities due to a curse, due to some misadventures that may have ended up with a previous party very dead, and Winnow very cursed by some otherworldly being. We'll see if that pops up at all, but they are currently on their way to meet their official familiar Sarah in the next town over, but who knows what hijinks will happen between now and then.
Hello, I'm Josh. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing Garnot Silrian, who also uses he, him pronouns. Garnot is a hobgoblin psi fighter, psionic whack and slash type of person, who has been travelling around, getting lost quite a lot, to be honest, around the Sword Coast, ended up in Waterdeep, went to a play, ended up working at Nexus Arts, sadly went to a funeral for his dad, and then got hired by Testimonial to take them to Baldur's Gate. And as always, he is accompanied by his best friend, Roger. What shenanigans will we get up to?
Hi everyone, I'm Steve. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Testimonial Rattleward, a Mark of Scribing gnome wizard who also uses he, him pronouns and is never far from his Wand of Wonder or his pen and notebook, taking notes and maps on all the adventures.
Hello, I'm Michael. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Professor Jaxus. He is a professor of the Feywild in theory. Maybe we'll find out whether that's in practice or not over the next few episodes.
Beautiful, right? Now, here's a word from our sponsors.
Check out our sponsor, Phoenix Dice, for carefully crafted click-clack math rocks for use in your favorite TTRPGs. Phoenix Dice work with recycled goods, meaning their products and packaging are all made from sustainable materials. You can go to phoenixdice.com to check their entire selection, and if you put !dice in the chat right now, you can enter yourself into a raffle with the chance to win some dice for yourself.
We are delighted to be sponsored by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from novels, adventures, and multiple live streams into a single grand adventure. You can select your heroes and formation, then battle through waves of monsters for free on PC, phone, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. And if you put !code into chat, you can get yourself a free election chest.
Check out our amazing supporters at Elderwood Academy, who make beautifully crafted gaming-themed accessories, including spellbook deck boxes like this. Ooh, look at it, disguised like an arcane ancient tome. They do hex chest dice boxes, scroll and codex dice towers, matching rolling trays, and all sorts of cool stuff. You can make your own, pick your own designs together with their online designer at elderwoodacademy.com.
Thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You can join us from as little as one of your local currency by following the link in chat or in the description below. Our D20 Club are the best. They have created a fan Discord for us, as well as a wiki page to keep track of all the Roll Together stories. And you can find that at rolltogether.fandom.com.
we are happy to be using Hero Forge and their fully customizable minis, which you can see on our overlays. And you can go check them out at heroforge.com.
We are using D&D Beyond. During our games, you can check out our character sheets with !characters in Twitch chat below.
You can find us across social media by searching for Roll Together RPG or by following the links in chat or in the description below. If you can't join us live and you want to see our previous episodes, you can catch up straight afterwards on Twitch, YouTube, or your favourite podcast provider by searching for Roll Together RPG.
Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans and GNC positive, and we encourage and champion trans and GNC players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are a different gender on their own. We aim to avoid misgendering, but we acknowledge that it does happen. We have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. Remember, if we miss an instance of misgendering, we are open to being corrected. So please do let us know if something like this happens. Check out !safety in the chat for content warning and some of the safety tools that we use in our TTRPG safety toolkit. And now, let us begin. Hello everyone again, and let's start this new game. So this game follows some of the events after the Divergent Dream, right? So we are in the same region, and the dim light of Smarteron City is left behind the cloud peaks, and a worn trail leads into the wood of Sharp Pit. The trail gets more difficult to follow as the trail goes in circles and a strange mischievous creature mess with your senses. It is believed that the Feywild is closer in the deepest of the forest. In one of the scattered clearings, one can observe the top of the Tornadax tower changing position at every dawn. In the middle of the clearing, the lights of a small hut reveal 4 figures. They seem rather worn and tired, and their clothes are evidence of a long journey. Maybe weeks? Hard to say. One of them makes sure the door is locked and puts off the lights. From their beds, some pair of shiny eyes and bizarre smiles stare at them through the holes in the ceiling. All of you at this point will be in your beds, trying to have some rest after all these journeys. Let's assume that all of you fall quickly at sleep. What will you be dreaming of? Testimonial, tell us.
Testimonial is dreaming that he is standing on a large oak tree stump as if it were like a speaker's corner box or a small stage. And he has his famous notebook open, and the quill, a large purple plumed quill, where the plumage has started to fall, because in this dream, he hasn't got a thing to say, and he's busy scribbling away before the feathers fall off, hoping to either draw or draw out from this crowd that he can't see but desperately wants to connect to some kind of sound. So he's like looking around like a mouse over the edge of his book.
Thank you. The camera moves to another bed, or it's more like just a mat on the floor. Professor Jaxis, what would you be dreaming of?
I picture him dreaming of he's in a university lecture hall, and he stood giving a lecture on how he managed to outwit and trick a Fey prince to get himself out of trouble. And as he sort of finishes this exposition, everybody slowly, like one of the students claps once, and slowly this slow clap turns into this like outright like happiness of this huge room packed with students all clapping, and people are crying, and someone throws flowers to him, and he's just like, and he's been all like humble and honored, and yes, probably wakes up after that.
As that happens, people out of in the darkness or whatever is watching you can see this nice and fulfilling smile on Professor Jax's face. The camera moves now to a bed that is a little bit undone, or probably the person sleeping here is having like intense dreams. Garnot, since you've been traveling and getting close to this wood, this forest, you've been having vivid dreams about, you don't know if those are dreams made of or memories or what happens, but it's like you dreaming of your childhood. Those dreams are ever so slightly even more and more vivid, and you can feel that you can actually have some control over them just before you wake up. Tell us, Garnot, what did you dream of?
It's a bit of a weird one because the dream starts, nearly always starts with Garnot. This has been very recent, especially since getting close to the forest. And always starting with Garnot as he looks now, stood in a field with some other people. These other people are all faceless in appearance, wearing very dark, almost black clothing, tuxedos, dresses, all of that sort of stuff. And they're standing over what looks to be a grave with a gravestone on the other end. The trees all around all resemble the colouring of trees that you would find in the Feywild. And as Garnot stands there and looks around everything that happens, the trees begin to pull in on themselves, and fire begins to lick up the trees. Screaming and crying of a baby can be heard, and then a very small toddler version of Garnot runs around behind him and disappears as if like, so he runs around Garnot, and then like red leaves come out from the other end where he would have appeared.
Thank you. As we come back to the scene in the room, you can see that sometimes your body twitches, or so this sort of involuntary moves when you are sleeping. And finally, the camera moves to a very still body in a bed. We see you there, just very still, but very deep sleeping. You find in your dreams in front of a body. We've seen this scene before. This is you going again to the scene of that fight where unfortunately the rest of your party passed away, and that's something that you have some sort of made peace with, but it still at times comes back to you, and you revise, and you cannot help but thinking, what could you have been done different so the outcome would have been much easier. So you're holding this body, and we know this person. This person is Coco. Coco is just a half elf, probably a sorcerer or like a caster, really weak one. Probably they were the first to fall down. And as you hold Coco, Coco's face starts turning into yours. So you're actually holding yourself, and then the body disappears. And you hear this voice that is also been haunting you. or since Divergent Dream, or since you left Smalteran. The voice of Gore, who now is some sort of link to your tattoo, and the patron of one of these members of your party, who is not entirely happy with you. They only say, "You see, this is all your fault." And as they finish that sentence, the dream starts again in a sort of infinite loop. That's just all you dream, not night after night, but it's a really frequent dream. This time, there is something different about your dream. You usually feel a little bit numb, but at this point, you feel in control over your body. And then again, you're holding Coco.
Is Coco still moving at this point, or are they just gone?
It's gone.
I kind of stroke their hair back. It's like, hello, are you here again?
I'm always watching, darling.
I mean, my dreams aren't that interesting. They kind of repeat all the time. Are you making me relive this every bloody time?
I'm just channeling your guilt at this point, if you say. I mean, this is absolutely adorable for me. I could watch you forever.
If it's so adorable, why are you punishing me so much? Adorable means cute and endearing. This is anything but cute and endearing.
Oh no, cute for me. I enjoy from your pain.
Well, trust me, I have enough pain without you interfering, so.
Well, it's not me keeping you here.
I'm certainly not choosing to be here.
Involuntarily you are. If you don't move on, then you're stuck here with me.
What do you want?
That is an excellent question, darling. You see, one of your friends points at somebody. Well, he's not there, or this creature is not there, so you just feel the focus on another body. That was one of my favorites. I would actually say we had some more intimate relationship than other patron and warlocks. And you are responsible of the death.
I know. I relive this every day. I carry the guilt. I tried my best. I tried to save them. I really did. But I don't understand what I can do to right any of this. What do you want? I know they were your favorite. They were one of my favorites.
Obviously, I don't love you as I love her. But you can take her place doing my bits. And as that sentence finishes, can the other three people in the room please roll a perception check?
First roll.
First roll.
13 from me.
So 13 for Garnet. Testimonial.
6 for Jex's Yexes.
A 7 with my wisdom modifier -1. It was a 6.
I think nothing's gonna be the 26 of Professor Jaxis. Professor Jaxis, the fact that you are a Feywild expert makes you always be on your toes while you are in this forest. So you're always like hyper alert of every single twitching of a branch or a leaf falling. You think there is something dangerous coming to you all the time. It's slightly stressful. So when you go back to the city, you will need some, not therapy, but like a nice day off out of all this stress that is causing you right now. Because obviously, it's not the same theoretical work at uni than practical work out here in the field. However, you are the first to wake up as you hear something happening in the room. As you wake up, first of all, you see all the other 3 bodies. Can we please go around and describe what Professor Jaxis says? Let's start this way, depending on my screen. So, testimonial, go first.
So, testimonial, still asleep, is a gnome of slightly taller than average height, a little scrawnier, glorious mutton chops that are with the chin left bare, because that's where, when writing, that's where the quill tickles as he's coming up with his thoughts and jotting down his notes. He sleeps without dignity. The mouth is open, the mutton chops are askew. The purple jacket that he wears all the time is from his days of from his more business-oriented days, his more merchant-oriented days, just lays atop him like a blanket.
Thank you. Garnet, could you please describe yourself?
So Garnot is a hobgoblin standing between 5'8" and 6 foot tall. Any number in between there, whichever you fancy is how tall he is. He's got his hair is currently out. Normally he has it sort of two braids that go along the sides of his head, and then it has it tied up into like a top knot. But at the minute it's all out and loose and all over the place because he's asleep and he's been moving around a lot. He's got one of those chin strap beards, a bit of grey all over. He's wearing, at the moment, he's just wearing slacks, a basic pajama type clothing at the minute. But next to the bed, and it's moving, is a black breastplate with red, so almost like demon-esque markings on it from a certain theatre that they went to before. Himself and Testimonial went to before. And the armor itself is moving because inside of it is a grey rat that pops out every now and then. Seems to be doing some sort of ironing or something within the armor. I don't know, it's housework or something. I don't know. And there is a very nice looking short sword and a shield which looks like it's got some burn marks on it, but on one half, and then the other half is in pristine condition.
Nice. I can't wait to see which costumes your companion comes with this time. Professor Jaxis.
So, Professor Jaxis is a Eladrin druid, but unlike most druids, he wears sort of a more proper, imagine like an adventuring suit. So it's like, I'm thinking almost like a troubadour, like the black with the tight middle on the top of the belt, holding the jacket in. He's really grey skinned at the moment, as he is in winter. As an Eladrin, he has black hair with white streaks that are all slicked really far back and put into a bun on the back of his face, and clean shaven. Incredibly simplistic. His clothes are black and his shirt is white. And he has like an incredibly clean, really tidy staff. It's literally just a black wooden pole, like as simplistic as it possibly could come. And then just like a rucksack right next to his bed that is packed with books and scrolls and quills and everything you could possibly need to not adventure, apparently.
Thank you. Last but not least, Winnow. What do we see?
Winnow is like a 5'9" changeling, not in any particular, in their natural changeling form. They're tall, they are very thin and lanky with grey skin, arms and legs that are a little bit too long, kind of Slender Man-esque. They normally wear a mask with blood tears coming down, but in their sleep, it's kind of slipped off, and you can see beneath the black eyes that are just slightly too big, and the wide black rimmed mouth where it's open a little bit, drooling a little. You can see the pointed teeth just inside. Their hair is white and shoulder length, kind of half up, half down, probably rumpled from sleep, and they're wearing dark monk clothes with a sash around the waist, with some charms just kind of sewn in here and there. On their right arm is a eldritch tendril-esque tattoo across the hand and up the forearm slightly. And to sleep in their position, they clearly wanted to stay up and keep watch for as long as they could, so they're kind of back against the wall, arms folded, but clearly just fell asleep sitting up at some point, trying the best to stay awake, but was a bit sleepy in the end.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful, everyone. So, Professor Jaxis, you hear this movement happening in the room, and you are the one that are the quickest to come back to your senses. And with that 26, there is few things that you see here first. First is 2 light sources in opposite sides of the room. Those looks like, at the first time you said, are those like walking lamps? There is some sort of mechanical thing to these creatures, spoiler alert, but they are emanating their own light. One of them has more red tones, and the other one has more yellow tones. And I know that saying dark light is weird, but there is dark energy sort of illuminating the area, if that makes some sense. If not, just imagine it. And there is sort of like a link between those two, with this dark energy that's still emanating some sort of light. And in the middle of that connection, there is another figure. Black as the night, you see a panther person, or a tabaxi, more like panther-esque. And you can see that they also have an eldritch tattoo. You quickly see some similarities in the style of Winnows and this one. This one, tattoos goes all over the neck and end up in one side of the face. And you can see the yellow eyes of this individual, which quickly looks at you, and when they realize you are awake, a third eye opens from the tattoo. And as that eye opens, there is a second eye on Winnows' arm that just quickly opens and closes. I will ask you to roll for initiative as I imagine Professor Haxis shouts something. Please.
Just imagine the highest pitched scream you could possibly imagine. I will destroy my voice if I try to do it, but
very high pitch.
He will literally scream, and with a 4 to my initiative, immediately hides underneath the covers.
Amazing. I love it.
I rolled a natural 1 for a 6.
Oh gosh.
I also got a nat 1 for a 6.
My goodness.
We're just really into our sleep.
Exactly. Some people was seriously. For technicalities, obviously, although you were sleeping, you are all wearing your armors or items, so don't worry about that. So
Jax is definitely in like polka dot pajamas, and and a hat, a sleeping hat.
Yes.
Fuzzy wuzzy slippers
I
as well
love
to go along with
Fuzzy
that.
wuzzy slippers, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
So you are in a hut that is now a hut, but probably used to be like a greater hall, or like probably this is an abandoned pub in the middle of the forest. So now it's just what is left of it, and you managed to make those improvised beds along the room. But the room in itself is big, I would say it's about 50 by 50. So there is plenty of room for you to move. And you position the beds like in a square. So I'm gonna start with the top left, where testimonial is.
Mhm.
Then top right is Garnet. Bottom right is Winnow. And bottom left is Professor Jaxes. The Panther is clearly just next to Winnow. One of the constructs is in one of the corners, so top corner, sorry, down right corner. And the yellow one is literally back to testimonial. So we know you have the Panther in front of you and one other construct, the red one, behind you. Testimonial, you have the yellow construct behind you. Professor Jaxis and Garnot, you have no enemies around, but you can see all of you. So there is cover if you want to find in terms of like these improvised beds, but at this point everyone can see everyone. Everyone is inside of side of each one. Unfortunately, my creatures, I think they were better rolling than all of you, except for testimonial.
I rolled a 16.
Testimonial, you are top of the round.
Oh no! So let's
As
set the.
you wake up from your slumber and you see this creature is not attacking Winnow, but is probably whispering something into their ear. So they're just there. The other two creatures look more menacing at this point. But then again, they are not doing anything.
So you said the yellow light one was closest to me. What does that creature look like?
So this creature is a construct.
Mm-hmm.
Is probably same size, so slightly taller than Garnet. It looks more. It looks humanoid, like an armor thing, like an automated armor. But clearly, the armor is just to contain the energy that is powering it.
So I mean, I wake up with a start at the loud scream. I fix on the large yellow construct, and I think
It's like 10 feet away from you, so you are not in melee range.
Not melee range.
Move, but it's really close to you.
Yeah, it's really close. So it seems quite large, larger than medium size.
No, it's still medium.
Still medium size? Okay,
Still
so
medium.
then I wake up and my first instinct is to use the gust cantrip to throw out a burst of wind, because like I throw on I get up, throw on my jacket, which is part of my somatic component for creating a gust of wind, and I just like, get away, because I'm just all startled that you might be stealing my notes, and I don't want you to steal my notes. My notes are very valuable to me. So I cast gust at the construct, which requires it to succeed at a strength saving throw or be pushed 5 feet away from me. This is all instinct. I hope it works.
So, what save is that?
The save is, where does D&D Beyond hide my spell attack? My save DC is 14.
But what kind of save?
Oh, it's a strength save.
Strength. For 12, I don't think I make it.
So the gust of wind, very theatrically, pushes them back 5 feet further away. Just
5 feet on. Good.
What is going on?
Do I receive any damage?
No damage. It's just a push.
Okay, correct. Anything else you would like to do?
At that point, I would like to That's a cantrip, so that's my basic action. I will get up off the bed and move towards the center to look at the other construct and look at this panther creature that's too close to Widow for my liking. Just to be ready.
Yes. As that happens, this panther creature just shouts, "Get them!" And you can see like these creatures to be like a little bit like just standing there. They look now ready to fight.
Okay.
And with that, we're gonna move to my first creature, which is the which color? I don't know which color. I would say it is the yellow. No, yeah, yellow one. So
Okay.
yellow one, the one that you just pushed, is going to. Okay, they're not really clever, so they're just gonna attack the closest thing that they have. So they're gonna move back to you, Testimonial.
Okay.
Did you move? Did you try to move closer to Garnot or anybody else?
My understanding is that we were in the grid, so I moved in the square, so I moved towards the center of the square. So I'm like
Center of square, yeah. Great. So they were 10 feet. Would you have used your whole movement or just enough?
10 feet. No, it would have been just part of half my movement.
So they can make it to you and they will try to crush you.
No.
Yes. So
No.
two attacks coming to you.
I'm going to react with my shield. I see it coming.
That's a non-natural 20 for the first one.
Okay.
And 11 for the second one.
And 11 for the second one. Okay. So the first one, they both hit.
Cool. So that is 10
Hold
damage each. So that's 20 damage.
20 damage. I misspoke. I used the reaction for shield that the second one misses.
Second one. So just 10.
Yeah, just
As this creature just rises one of the. It's not. It looks like an armor. Just slams you with both of the arms, like kind of limbs that they have, and it's all they have. Next one is a creature, the panther creature, who will use the action to make a monologue because I feel like we need some sort of explanation. And this creature goes and talks to Winnow and says, "I finally find you. You will be a nice prize for the master." And it's just gonna try to grapple you.
Oh.
So it's gonna Where is my? It's gonna use strength. So this is a contested. You can use acrobatics or athletics.
We'll go with acrobatics. Ooh, so 19 plus 8 is a number.
27, yeah.
27.
Much more excited than my 9. So that is the first attempt. It's gonna use the same. It's gonna try the same action. Oh, forget about it. I just rolled a 5. So with your plus 8, obviously. So you're super squishy, like super agile. That this guy this person just tries to grab you. And say,
Grab
"Oh,
someone
come
who
on."
just woke up.
Yeah. "Oh, come on. Just let's play a little bit." And their voice is a little bit like I don't know, like very with the throat, so you can hear that there is something there or something coming. Who knows? Thank you. Next one is a construct that is behind you. We know, and it's going to. They seem to. They move. So this creature moves, and who is closer? 35. No, they can only get to Garnot. and they will try to smash Garnet. They pass through you, next to you, we know, almost like ignoring you. So probably you get this intention of not harm them, just bring Winnow to me. Like there hasn't been any sort of damaging action against you. But Garnet is no Winnow, so here
Can I
we
get
go.
an attack of
Garnet.
opportunity?
Yes, actually you can.
Ah,
Yes.
which I think is just one attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's another 19 plus 9. So I assume that hits.
Absolutely.
Cool. And let me just check if I can use a thing on that. Scrolling through long character sheets after a while. Give me a second. I'll be right with you. Put in some elevator music. Okay, I will add Hand of Harm on there as well to give it some extra necrotic.
Yes.
So that makes it. Okay, so that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points of damage.
16. Great. Yeah, so it's just the damage, right?
Mhm.
So as you hit one of the plates that covers this energy vein, it finally makes it to Garnet, and Garnet is going to be slammed. Hopefully. For a 21 to hit.
That will
and
hit.
A 21 and 24.
Yes, they both hit.
So the first one is 9 lightning damage, and the
Ooh.
second is also 16 lightning damage.
9 and 16.
Which-
That is shocking.
Also testimonial, that was lightning damage. If you have any kind of resistance, please apply
No.
it.
No resistance.
This creature, after making their attacks, they're just standing there. And next is Garnet. Garnet, you have been shocked with energy. What are you gonna do?
Oh, God, bloody hell. What do you think you're doing, eh? As I go to grab my sword, my armor's already half on, and sitting on my shoulder is Roger pulling on the straps, wearing like a little squire's outfit, pulling the straps on and doing the armor up for me, so I'm already fighting. And I just draw the sword and I slash towards this construct that is trying to hurt me. Very mean thing. With 2 attacks. The first one is a 21 to hit,
Hits.
and the second one is a 28 to hit.
Both hit.
Okay, so that's going to be 11 and 12, so 23 points of slash damage in total.
23. Amazing. Is your sword magical?
It is indeed.
Thank you.
The runes on the almost like sylvan type runes on the blade light up as I slash into the creature, and I sort of roll around it to try and get, not moving out of its range, but I'll combat roll to get behind it so I can get to the middle of the room if I need to help testimonial.
Thank you.
And I'll grab my shield, and then that's my turn.
Thank you. Amazing. We know you have already done some damage. You are always ready for this. Tell us.
Question. How late into the night or early morning is it? Has there been a dawn?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And have I already used my Eldritch Claw today?
Roll me a d20
Yep.
on a even. Yes.
I've got a 19 again. I think is that my third 19?
Yeah.
So that's odd. So no, I haven't.
Yeah.
bonus action Eldritch Claw.
Go for it.
And the
Destroy
tendrils just
my
kinda come
counter
out,
again.
Like, oh, you want to play? You want to play at this time of night? And I'm going to do my first 2 attacks on, and I'm also going to say, did Garganor send you? Garganor?
Gornor.
Right? Gornor. Try saying that with an American accent. Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay. So that is a 28 and a 15 and a 24 to hit on the 2 basic attacks there.
Both hit.
Cool. So let's do this damage. Don't think I can do another Hand of Harm. Would Hand of Harm reset on this turn or after? Because it's you can do it once per turn.
Turn, so each creature has a turn. The other one is round. So you can use it again.
I will add on a Hand of Harm for another key point. Which is the only key point I'm using. Okay. Ooh, okay, and that's 12. Oh god. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34 points of damage, please.
Is that all? Is there any extra? I mean,
some of it is necrotic. The rest is just force.
It doesn't matter. I don't have resistance to necrotic, so all.
And it all counts as magical.
Will come in.
Some of it is necrotic. The rest of it is death.
As you hit this creature with your, you activated the tattoo, right? You see that both tattoos interact. You don't know if in a positive or in a negative way. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I'd like to kind of acknowledge and nod to the tattoo, like, I'm sorry about that, but this does not give you the right.
Nice. So you're gonna stay there?
Yes.
Good, I like that. Hold your positions. Great. Finally, Professor Jaxis. Lot has been happening.
Yes.
Am I right to say that this is one of your first adventures? Close to the Feywild?
Yeah, most of the adventures Jaxus has had is more, let's visit a library. And so he would travel with a group of adventurers who were going to Baldur's Gate or heading to another place, or kind of keep, water deep, heading to the different places. But not necessarily dungeon delving. He'd seen combat, but not particularly. It's more hidden underneath the carriage while everybody went to work, and just sort of popped a guidance here and you can do it. So he's currently in his bed still, with the covers around his face, sort of watching this entire thing going on, like moving his head from side to side. He's going to go hide underneath the bed, but under the covers, but then he's going to sort of turn around and he's going to crawl underneath the covers to the end of to the foot of the bed and pop his head out from the foot of the bed. We know they seem to know you. What is going on?
To Link, I think. I've never seen this person before in my life.
Oh, well, right. And then he will attempt to cast Entangle, as from the walls and from the floorboards, these wild vines come exploding out and wrap around all 4 of them. Can they make a strength saving throw, please?
Who are you aiming to?
I think are they all in a 20-foot square?
Interesting.
I'm hoping I can get all 4 of them if we've all been attacked in where we're sleeping.
20,
But
20.
no problem if I can't get them all.
You can get the Panther and the one that is close to Garnot, or just the one that is close to Testimonial?
2 sounds better than 1.
Mhm.
I couldn't be cheeky and position it in a way that would get them all.
Give me a second. Let's be cheeky.
Let's see if we can be cheeky.
So, math time. So if you have it's 20 by 20, right?
20 by 20 foot
So
square.
what's the hypotenuse of that?
Would be
D&D math.
10 feet from the center outward.
20, 20. So that's 28 in a diagonal if we
Yes.
locate it, right? So if those two are in a 28, is 28 close to 30? It is, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's your choice. You're either a DM that rounds up or a DM that rounds down.
You're grasping 1 feet each of one creature. So yes, you can allocate in a weird shape that you
Well,
hit the 3 of them.
Give 2 of your choice advantage or something because they're not holding it well.
Yeah.
So it's a strength saving throw for whomever you wish.
So let's start with the one. So I'm gonna give advantage to the one that is with Testimonial, which is the one that is just right in the corner. For a no good 24.
24 saves.
Then the Panther, a normal one, for a 17.
Yeah, saves.
And then the one that is close to Garnot for a 18.
That saves as well.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's still good. Yeah, he throws them out, and these vines just like, well, I guess if they pass, they just crush the vines.
So the vines come, but it's difficult to grasp energy. And then the other creature looks like they have a body, but also they look really malleable, if that is the word that I want to use this time.
Yeah, he just looks like, as he casts it, he just looks wide-eyed and goes, well, that didn't work, and then just goes back under the bed covers.
I love it. Thank you very much. With that, we're gonna go back to top of the round with Testimonial. You've seen this amazing display of abilities for all your partners.
So it's time to do.
The only advantage that you are right now in melee range with one of them, the yellow one.
Yeah, I'm in melee range with the yellow one. So I think. I am alarmed by the proximity. I want to. Do I want to be funny? Right away. So I think I will roll up my sleeves, draw out the quill, and draw a picture of an arrow in my notebook. That'll be how I cast Acid Arrow. I'm going to cast it at 3rd level. I'm going to supercharge it a little bit directly at the yellow construct, because hopefully the acid will do some extra eating there. So it's a 1 foot ball of acid that flings from the tip of the quill. It is. Let's see if I hit though before I do anything. That's 19 plus 6, 25.
To hit.
Hits.
That's super hits.
That's super hits. So there is a 20-foot radius sphere, but I'm facing like nobody else, right? Like the way that we've described it, this is part of the reason why I was able to do it. I wouldn't catch everybody else in it.
Garnot, are you resistant to acid?
Definitely not resistant to acid, no.
No, well, I'm glad. Just like some, I step, put my tiny body interposed between myself and Garnot. So I'll roll damage first, but then there's a dexterity save that the construct has to make.
Mhm.
So the base damage would be Wait,
I
hold on.
got an 8.
You got an 8. So that and my save is 14.
So I
So
take
on the
full
failed save, you
damage.
take 10d4 acid damage. Which I
Wow.
figure- Yeah.
I'm definitely glad I'm not in range of that.
Yeah. So that is 10d4. That's a lot of virtual dice. That's moderately better than what I did when I rolled 5 by accident. So 20 points of damage.
As-
And then at the end of the round, if it's still standing, they'll take a
So continuous damage. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it'll
it's
take
not
2
concentration.
2d. Yeah, no, it's not concentration. It just sort of eats away at the person, and it's 2d4
Melting.
acid damage until at the end of its next turn.
Good. Yeah, you can see how this acid is corrosing the plates that contains this energy being. Fortunately for it's its turn. So when do I take damage? At the end of this?
At the end of this turn, yeah.
Good. So I will try to smash. Sorry. Go back to your turn. Do you want to do something else? Yeah. Sorry, I just cut you off. Bonus action, movement.
The construct is just that angry with me. I think some light fleeing might be in order.
Probably it is a good idea.
So I have a 25. I have a 25-foot move, and I'm going to run. I'm going to retreat from it. I'm not going to run past it because I don't want to take any attacks of opportunity. So I'll flee to the back corner. I was in the middle, and I'm fleeing towards. I guess what would have been the entrance.
You have 2 options: the corner of Garnet and the corner of Winnow. You have noticed that Winnow, that hasn't been any damaging actions against Winnow.
Nope.
But also
Winnow's-
you know Garnet and all these abilities, so choose your mid shield.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I'd hate to impose as of yet. So I'll go to Garnet. Garnet. That's what
Nice.
keep pronouncing that like he's French.
So I'm gonna put you behind, but not next to each other.
Sure.
Behind Garnet. But I'm gonna take a attack of opportunity.
I'm gonna
If that's okay for you.
It is
Um,
part of the dramatic arts.
oof, for a 21,
For 21, yes. The
for
shield is
13 points of lightning damage.
13 points of light. Oh, how I wish I had a resistance.
Just
Okay.
13.
Just 13.
Just 13. Yes.
So that's the
Um,
noted.
Good. So that is your turn, and this creature turn. Professor Jack says you went back to your underneath, right? Good. So I mean, it worked, right? With my, let me see, what's my passive perception? A 0. That would be 10. So I don't think I can. So it's gonna move to Garnet. Garnet.
Mike
Make a
feels bad,
Right.
but that was.
10-year-olds are right. Hide under your blankets and the monsters can't see you.
It's the safest place. I mean, it is the safest place in the world.
It is.
18 and 21 to hit Garnet.
Both will hit. 18 just hits.
For 19 and 19.
Holy hell! I think on one of those, as the blade comes down, Roger runs out of the armor and sort of claps the blade as it goes to impact into me. The blade still catches me, but Roger is engulfed in this yellow psionic energy, similar to what Garnot gets encased with, as I used a protective field, which will allow me to reduce the damage by my psionic dice plus my intelligence. So that will be 8 points of damage I will reduce. So I'll take 19 and 11, so 30 points of damage.
I have a question. You said yellow energy.
Sorry, white energy. I mean, I always
White.
get those two.
Okay.
It's white energy, yeah.
Yeah, because if that's gonna be yellow, Are you super science or
I
something?
mean, I am due to make a Super Saiyan character at some point.
What a one shot! Yes. Good. Sorry, people. That is gonna be its turn, and we're gonna move to Ebony. Sorry,
Ooh.
I haven't introduced Ebony, but it's time to introduce Ebony. This panther looks at you, Winnow, and say like, "Yes, let's play." And you can see that the tattoo starts like growing all of the around the body of this panther. And it was black before, but now it's not black. Now it's absence of color. Now you can see the deepness of the universe. There's just endless void in its body. But you can see two things: the yellow eyes and the white feet, which are starting like being more like huge jaws opening, and they're gonna try to bite you.
Am I fighting Venom?
I think so. I think you
Ebony.
Oh, well,
so that's going to be, god damn it, 14.
No.
Shit. Well, that's good. With the second attack, he's gonna try to grapple you with one paw. Well, not paw, with one arm.
Do tabaxis have thumbs? That's just curiosity.
Sorry. What do you say?
Do they have thumbs? Or is it just like a... Ooh.
I don't know. The tabaxis have thumbs. I hope so.
I would think so.
I think so.
I hope they
so.
have. Otherwise, it would be a really difficult life for them.
How do they not rule
Only
the
boxes.
world? Oh god.
So I roll really bad.
Canonically,
but I
yes.
roll a 11 for my. So please roll a natural one.
Acrobatics, I got a 19.
Clearly, this is not the best. How to say? The best minion that could have been sent to get you. Anyways, Garnet, the next one to you is actually going to turn. It's not like a lamp, but turns the head towards Winnow, and there is a sort of light coming to your way as they use paralyzed gaze, which means, could you please make me a wisdom saving throw? 12.
Who?
Was that me
Winnow.
or was that? Oh, Winnow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Winnow.
Wisdom save, come on. That's a non-natural 20.
As
I'm sorry.
you feel this energy sort of trying to paralyze yourself, but you are able to shake it up, and everybody's like, are we really doing this? I mean, like, this wasn't in my contract. I should be at home right now. These people is just dusting the floor with dust. If they could have like a face, you could see that they are not happy about it, but they're just constructs. Next one is Garnet, who is not that happy, but still standing.
It's just about Garnot's swaying just a little bit, like falls to one knee slightly, stands back up as the arm is fully fitted now. Roger, having blocked the blow, disappears back into my armor, and I turn to the one that's just tried to paralyze Winnow, and I'm going to strike at it with 2 attacks. Oi, leave my friend alone, right? Now that is a 16 to hit.
Hits.
And a 12 to hit.
Hits.
Oh, it hits. Okay. As I strike into this creature twice, the Sylvan Ruins glow again, but the entire blade itself changes from its metallic metal color to a bright yellow. Bright white, the same color as all of my psionic energy. As I'm going to do 2 psionic strikes on it.
Nice.
So that is going to be 12 and 10. So it's 22 points of slashing damage. And then on top of that, it's going to be 2 more d8 of... Where is it? 2 more d8 of other damage. There. Apologies for this. 6 and 9, and then 15 points of force damage. So 37 damage in total.
Nice.
All magical. And then as I do that, and seeing as it hasn't gone down yet, I'm going to this almost like white outline comes across my body and then almost shatters like glass as I perform an action surge, and I'll attack it 2 more times. That is a 24 to hit.
Hits.
That was a natural 1 for an 11, so only 1 hit, but I will do another psionic.
11 hits.
11 does hit. Oh, okay. So that is 10. So 24 points of slashing damage. And 5, 7, 12 points of force damage. So 36.
Relentless slash into this thing, and more plates of this body kind of thing starts falling apart. And you can see that the energy that is holding up, that is powering it, is going away. So you can see that is very, very blooded and just holding by the tiniest of the threads. But you can see how your work is paying off. Maybe next round.
And next thing, the final thing before, as my bonus action, Roger comes back out with my armor wearing a full surgical outfit, walks up to some of the cuts and scrapes I've taken, starts stitching it all back together as I use second wind.
Right,
which is going to give me 17 hit points back. Nice.
And
then that's
I forgot at the end of one of my creatures to take damage from the acid.
That's right. The yellow construct takes 2d4, which is another 5 points of damage.
Nice.
And that's the end of their acid commitment.
Goody. And you were gonna say something, Steve?
I was actually going to say exactly that.
Oh, okay, cool. Next one is Winnow. Winnow, the little black kitten, has come to play, but he's not really good at it, so please.
Not. I'll shout over to Garnot. Keep them busy, keep the squishy ones safe. I'll be with you as soon as I can.
I'm certainly trying. Hurry up, please. That's not an accent.
And I'm gonna go ham on the kitty cat. So I'm going to do my first 2 initial attacks. I'm going to separate damage out for types, because does necrotic or force damage make a difference?
Not for this specific creature, but in the future,
I won't bother separating out then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a 19 and a 25.
Both hit.
Both hit. Okay, so I'll do
15. You said?
No, it was a 19 and a 25.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I will use flurry of blows and then roll everything together because I'm a maverick. So another 2 attacks and okay, so that's a 21 and a 24 to hit.
Both hit.
I am rolling well. Woo! Okay, so the regular damage is, give me a minute, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and then 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62 points of damage, please.
You start just demolishing this little kitten.
I like to imagine I'm just like doing air kicks into its face.
However, every time you hit with you to 2. You see that some of the energy sort of is like transferred into its body, but the body receives damage, but the body just feels like bloating, so it's like going bigger and bigger. So at this point, it went from medium to large, and you can see this creature is sort of losing their humanoid shape, and it's turning more into like a tentacly sort of creature. You can still see those yellow eyes. And how many hits it was 4 hits, right?
Oh yeah.
Every time you hit, a new eye opens into this creature. So now you can see the yellow eyes and 5 eyes just randomly open in the body of these creatures. All of them looking at you.
That monstrosity gets stronger the more you hit it.
I'll tell you what. I haven't seen you get hit much in our adventures together. That don't happen when you get hit, does it?
I don't think so. I don't get hit very often, though.
Oh God.
Anything else you would like to do?
Stare in horror at the thing that is coming into being before me.
That is a free action.
Thank you.
Staring in horror is also a free action. Thank you very much. Finally, Professor Jaxes. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with all that has happened. No problems with you holding the situation. Actually, holding yourself. Tell me.
He's gonna pop his nose back out and see that Garnet is not looking as hot, and so he's going to sort of go into his top pocket of his pajamas and pull out. What would he pull out? Like some cherry blossom petals. He will blow them out, and as he blows them, they begin to twirl around Garnet and begin to glow like a emerald green, but like they glow that emerald green, but they also have that sort of pink flavoring of the cherry blossom as well. And they begin to spin and get brighter and brighter and brighter. And as soon as you start your turn there, you will heal on your as soon as it's the first time, you will heal 7 hit points, and then on every subsequent turn for 5 rounds, you will heal 2d6 each at the start of each of your rounds. As I cast Healing Spirit at 3rd level.
Nice.
Go get them, Garnet. Show them who's boss.
Yes.
And I will go and hide back in bed.
Thank you. So let's make a summary of what we have here. We have 2 constructs attacking Garnet, one of them looking very wary, the other one still standing even after all the acid damage. Black Kitty Cat, not looking good in the sense of what the hell is this creature? What is happening with this creature? But we know just temperate as always, just like, yeah, I can deal with this shit. I haven't been touched. Who do you think the hell I am? How do you dare to come with me and try to take me away? And Garnet, I find Garnet hot when he is damaged. So that's it. Oh, wait, was that Ali or Augury? Sorry, Augury took over me. Good. Top of the round. Testimonial.
Testimonial is furiously transcribing notes for all the actions happening. This would make a great play later on, but first we have to survive to see the audience. Testimonial puts down the pen, and I think will, because so bewildered by what's happening with Ebony the Tabaxi turning into this multi-eyed horrible thing, is going to lightly freak out and take out his Wand of Wonder. And use a charge, because anything that happens to this multi-eyed blobby tentacly thing that changes it will make it more understandable because it's really blowing his mind what's going on. And if it accidentally gets fireballed, I won't be too upset about it. So
we love a nice fireball in the middle of the room.
yeah, I mean, it's by 50. I already knew how big the room was before I did it. So I will expend a charge and then roll the percentage. Which is an 83.
Ali and I have our fingers crossed for very different reasons.
And clearly the panic and the unsettled nature of this creature is such that maybe the Wanderer knew what the right thing to do was, because I've turned invisible. I panicked and I disappeared. It's not a bed sheet, but functionally it's just as effective. So I
panic.
I just panicked, disappeared. So I've cast invisibility on myself, and being aware of that, I will try to. I'll stay rooted in place, honestly, and to just prepare another spell. I have nothing else.
I love that. How does that invisibility work? Like
it's the classic spell. So I have all.
How does it look like when you cast it?
Oh, when I cast it. So it looks like I have been liquid paper erased from it. So I just sort of scratched down. So top to bottom, I'm like
very, very meta. Yes,
and
let's erase this.
And
I love it. Thank
the
you.
wand of wonder glows, and then we go.
Next one is the yellow one that has been corrosed by the acid, and they have intentions, so they will also direct glance against Winnow. Winnow, could you please make me another wisdom saving throw? 12.
And will my luck run out? No, I got 13.
Damn it. Great. So this time you feel a little bit more like takes you a little bit longer to shake it off, but still there you are like not today, Satan. And that's gonna be its turn. Next one, the massive bloated piece of voidness in front of you. They have also orders, so they are going to bite you. For 19 to hit.
That certainly hits.
And you take how much damage? 7 points of 7 slashing. Why do I have? Yeah, 7 slashing. And then you are grappled as this giant mouth starts. You feel the damage, but you feel that they don't want to harm you. This is just the only mean they have to deal with you. You're still having the sensation that their objective is not to kill you. Now that you are there, they're going to use a paralyzed gazing. Could you please make another wisdom saving throw? 12. You're gonna be fine.
12.
12, just so you can feel now it's not more of a gaze, but more like, well, probably the eyes and the body of this thing move inside so they can look at you from the inside, but it doesn't happen anything. However, as you are still in close contact with this thing, then again your tattoos interact and you see a nice memory. You see this person just having a nice time with their friends, a normal tattoo, he's just getting drinks after a mission maybe, he's having the time of their life, and suddenly he sort of like twigs and he stands up from the table, gets out of the pub and starts wandering. They just like if it was like a sleeping agent kind of thing. People were never saw them again, and you're back to reality, being engulfed by this thing. Now, you are a medium creature. This thing is a large creature right now, and they have 30 feet of movement, which is going to be reduced to 15 because they are trying to get out of this house with you in there, encompass themselves. So they're going to be next to the red construct, 10 feet away from the door. So now everybody except for Professor Jaxis are sort of clustered in the same area. You are, Winnow, are you grappled or restrained? Let me tell you. You're just grappled. So you can still try to get out from this. So no restraint status, which is the nasty one. Next one is the yellow one. Sorry, the red one. That was the first one to try to paralyze you. I'm gonna roll to see if I recharge my ability. I don't get it back, but I can still hit hard. Garnet, I'm really sorry, darling.
I know how hard you can hit.
I got a nasty 20 and a nasty 9.
It's so funny if I said the 9 hit. No, the 20 will hit, but I will block the nasty 9 with my shield.
So you take 15 points of lightning damage.
I didn't even get a chance to put my hair up back into my like warrior bun, so I just imagine it's all like in the minute.
Love it. Great. So that brings us to you, Garnet.
Now,
You heal
Can I-
2d6.
oh, thank you. Would you like to roll that?
I don't mind, I shall. 10.
Hey, thank you very much. Now, can I see Winnow inside this creature?
Yeah, so not all of their body is enclosed. So you can see obviously the head and maybe the bottom of the bit, both legs, yes.
I'm going to use my Fey gift racial feature, Fey gift hospitality. I'm going to speak to Winnow and go, Winnow, you've got this, right? You got this, yeah?
I mean, maybe I'm gonna try and get out, but there's a chance that this will carry me away, so, no, I'm cool. I've got this.
So I'm using hospitality, which means that both Winnow and myself get 1d6 plus 3 temporary hit points. So we both get 9 temporary hit points.
Very useful. Not that Winnow has got any damage. Significant damage.
It was more for me.
Yeah. Actually, I took
Oh, for
7
you.
damage, and then I got 9 temp HP, so I'm actually better off than when I started.
Jesus.
And then I will attack the red construct, which is the one that isn't acid burn, correct? Yeah.
So the red one is the one that is almost dead.
Okay, that's the one I'm going to attack. I will just do the one attack to start off with, just in case I kill it. 27 to hit.
Hits.
I'm not doing any Scion shenanigans. That's 11 points of slashing damage.
How do you destroy a ball of energy encompassed in plates?
I'm picturing it like the big set of armor that's in the first Thor movie that opens its faceplate up and fires the beam out. So as I can see, like the electrical static is starting to build up again in the center of its face for the paralysis beam, I slide around to the front of it and then just thrust forward with the sword straight into that section and just cause it to sort of crumple and implode on itself.
So the plate that looks like a helmet for a head of these creatures just breaks up, and all the energy sort of dissipates. You all feel this electric energy passing through you. No damage, but it's like,
And then
And,
I will
yeah.
roll towards the yellow one, and I
Yes.
will slash at that with my second attack.
Nice.
That's a 12 to hit. I think you said that hit.
It hits.
I'm going to put my last psionic energy dice into this. That is 15 plus 15 plus 8, so 23 points of damage in total, all magical. 15 points of slashing, 8 points of force.
You see the plates falling down, but still standing, darling.
That's fine. That's my turn.
Beautiful, thank you. We know you've been dragged somewhere. I forgot to say that in your vision, when these people with these individuals gets out, the friends just start shouting, "Ebony, where you going?" So now we know the name is Ebony.
Okay, few questions.
Yes.
Question number 1 is, does it look like my damage has actually done any actual damage at
Yeah.
all? It does.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
on a random numerical scale, percentage-wise, I don't know. How hard up is this creature looking?
So I would say that is between the 25 and the 35% of the health. So
Okay.
you've done that in 2 rounds. So maybe.
Yeah. Okay, and I am grappled, so I can either use my action to get out, or can I attack from within?
You can attack from within.
I'm going to attempt to attack from within, throwing everything I've got at this thing.
Nobody. I think everybody had that the same idea. Like, come on, rip it from inside.
Yep. And I will also say, Ebony, this isn't you! Just in case. Just see if we can get...
Oh,
You know,
I
that
love it.
luck's in stories.
Of course.
Okay. So, okay, now I'm not rolling so good. So that is, 5 plus 9. 14 to hit on the first one.
Misses.
Misses. And then that was 19 on the next one.
Hits.
Oh, and then there was a natural 20.
I mean,
A 23.
hits.
Okay, cool. So that was 3 hits. What do you want me to do for the nat 20?
Double your dice.
Double the dice. Okay, I will treat that as a separate one then.
Mhm.
Okay, double the dice. Okay, so, maths. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Do the regular damage there. Ooh, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Then 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and I'll add a hand of harm. 46, 47, 48 points of damage, please. From inside, as I just kind of try and rip this shadow monster apart.
Did you say 39?
I don't have a good short-term memory.
48.
48.
48, yeah,
Thank
I
you.
knew it. Roll me a d20.
That was a 12.
So I'm gonna give you an option here. Do you want to push your limits and take the last 5 hit points of this creature and gain 1 exhaustion level?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's already interrupted my sleep, so it kind of...
So you start hitting this creature and you feel how your muscles are to the limit, and you decide just to keep pushing, and maybe you feel one pull on one of the biceps, and you feel that your body is giving it all, and you put in the physic just to finish this. But the same as before, so there was 3 hits. Every time you hit, there is 1 more eye, and the creature just keeps growing and growing and growing to the point that they cannot hold more their form as these just explode. Could everyone except for Professor Jaxis make me a dexterity saving throw? 12.
No.
That's when I roll low.
You're gonna take.
I rolled a 10.
I rolled
rolled
really
a-
bad.
I rolled a
if-
1.
so if you pass, you're gonna take 4 points of necrotic damage. If you fail, 9 points of necrotic damage.
So I passed by 1, but I have evasion, so I take nothing.
Jesus Christ.
And that was my 10 hit points gone, so that's all right.
Great. I guess invisible you get advantage? No, I don't think you get advantage, do you?
I mean, it didn't attack me directly; it sort of exploded in my vicinity. So that's how I was. That's how I'm taking it.
Yeah, you don't get. Okay, cool. So this creature is no more, and some of this damage is also passed to the construct. Professor Jaxis, chaos in the room. 1 creature left.
You can hear like, what is going on in there? I want to do. Try. I think. No, that's concentration. What do I want to do?
Concentration. I have to make a check because I took damage.
Yeah. So that would be 10, please. This is 10.
I'm so scared by the damage. I stay invisible.
Can, who would be at the top of the round? Is it testimonial?
Yes.
It is.
Yes. Testimonial, just fix this, and I will cast guidance. Have a default. Do with it what you will.
Thank you.
It's not a right lot. While everybody's all squished together, I can do right now.
Nice.
So enjoy.
Top of the round, testimonial. You're invisible and have D4.
I'm visible. I have a D4. We have only the one construct standing, the yellow construct.
Just the red one.
The red
Looks
one.
very wary, but still standing.
Very well. I will. I think I'll fire a slightly less powerful acid arrow at it.
Pew, 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 pew.
Off we go. So I'll cast it at 3rd level, so it's 5d4. So do I roll the guidance at the same time? Anyways, I'm at a 21.
Yeah, for the attack. I think it's whatever it checks. Yeah, just add it. I mean, yeah, hits.
Yeah.
Very hits.
So it hits. So
And now I do a dexterity.
you hold on. Shimmering green arrow. You take 4d4 acid damage immediately, and 2d4 at the end of its turn. So you take 7 damage.
Nice. It's not looking good, guys.
It's not looking good.
It's turn. You have become visible.
I have. I had to drop concentration for that. I'm.
So Garnet. Sorry. Anything else, testimonial? So you
I
can-
like if I run, I'm going to get a attack of opportunity because I'm still within the.
Yeah.
if
If
I'm not
you
so close
run,
to range.
you'll be fine.
If I run, I'll be fine. I run. I run.
All the wizards.
Yeah.
Yes, you are out of reach.
Excellent.
Garnet, this creature, looks a little bit erratic as no leader of the pack is around. She's gonna slam you.
You've got 9 extra HP.
Well, thank you. That'll be the
Or-
start of my turn, won't it? Yeah.
22 and 16.
The 22 will hit, but I will very agilely dodge out of the way of the 16.
13 points of damage. And we get to your
Ow.
turn again.
Okay, so I heal the 9 from the professor. I'm going to look over to Winnow, who I would assume is completely covered in tabaxi goo. And I'll just go, pop goes the tabaxi, and then I'm going to slash into this thing. Garnot has a very odd sense of humour, as do I. That's a 16 to hit,
Hits.
and a 27 to hit.
Hits.
That will be 15 and 15. Jesus Christ, 30 points of slashing damage. I rolled max both times.
Sploosh.
The tactic, I imagine that you just repeat the same tactic. It's almost like perfect, like copy paste. That is impressive how your movement is so that it's so your martial skills are so precise that you can repeat the same strategy from one to another, that people is just like, is this a deja vu? And they realize that it's not, because now the bow creatures are dead as all the plates fall to the ground and the energy dissipates. With the last plate falling to the ground, silence comes again into the night. And with that, we're gonna go to our break. So we'll see you in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And yeah, let's see where do we go from here? See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And we are back. We have finished our consumables and refill whatever we have to refill, especially our energies. And we're ready to keep going to whatever this is going to be. On the first half, we jump into danger and we face 3 creatures. 2 of them just generic constructs that come to kill you, but the third one seems to have information about Winnow, the patron that is owning the course of the tattoo. Ebony, to what little information we could recollect from them. And as everything comes back to silence, you can start see on the horizon the first rays of light of the day. Unfortunately, you were not able to finish your long rest. So yeah, that is a thing. And we know, pushing yourself to your limits, you have now a level of exhaustion. Tell me, how do you want to proceed from here?
So I want to dismiss my tattoo, but can I have a look at it first? See if there's any eye action.
No eyes, but have you ever feel like walking on a dark alley and you feel like someone watching you? The same, whether there is someone or not, just this idea of, it's not paranoia, but it's like, I'm being watched. And from time to time you just turn your head, but there's no one there.
Dismiss it and just go, well, does anyone have any prestidigitation? I'm kind of covered in eldritch goo and a bit of tabaxi.
Is it over yet?
Silver
Yeah.
Professor, good tactics hiding, good to keep out of sight.
Right, well, that was, they like to say the old rump in the sheets, but that was not what I thought that meant.
I mean, hiding in the sheets was a good tactic for some of you, but put the heat on the rest of us. Bit of blood there.
Blood as you come.
Here, you get 2 more. 1, so 5. 5 plus 7. To top you up, so 7 and 5 points of healing, and they the glowing emerald blossoms that are spinning around you dissipate and just sort of turn to like dust.
Thanks for that. That was rather nice of you. And I'm just going to stretch, and there's a very faint white glow around me. And I'm going to use my psionic recovery to heal 1 psionic point.
Yeah, so I will say that you still have some time to get a short rest if you wish so. But yeah, maybe not time for a long rest at this point. As you start, if I imagine that before or during the short rest, you try to clean what is left of the goo. So this hut, you got here. I mean, this is not something that probably will come and say, hey, I left it clean, now you have to clean it, but it's up to you to clean. But there would be some elements to be discovered you want to just investigate, of course, a little bit cross, because there is parts of the tabaxi around, but who knows what you can find. And yeah.
So during the attack, by the way, I just want to let you guys know, that tabaxi, tattoo link, but seemed to be taken over by the tattoo. So if I start acting a little bit weird, please just cut my head off. Cool.
I mean, I'd rather find a different way to deal with it rather than just, lopping your head off and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, Testy. What were you going to say?
I was just going to pop your head off. I'd rather find a different solution to the problem. Garnet, I like our growing teamwork. I like how we're thinking alike. You're a lot to handle, but we'd like to not pop your head off.
There is another solution, go for it, but I'd rather a head popped off rather than, laying waste to all of you. I mean, 2 of you are very powerful in your own right, but you're kind of squishy, and I want to keep you guys alive. Like, that's my priority.
It just feels a little extreme, don't you think?
Well, I mean, fighting Venom was a little bit extreme, so in the middle of the night, maybe we should start having a watch rotation, just so that, we don't get woken up in the middle of our REM cycle.
I thought that was you.
My watch was a little too long, so maybe shorter cycles?
Well, hang on a minute.
No.
Judging by where the sun is now, you were on watch for about half an hour before we were attacked.
Professor, you're an Eladrin. You don't need to sleep.
It's for beauty, not just. No, I'll be honest. I was reading, and well, it happens to the best of us. I dozed maybe too deeply. Trancing and meditating just took me a little, too deep into the peace. But I mean, I screamed rather loudly. If I do not remember, I did wake everybody up very efficiently. So
Also, all the dogs in the area.
Yes, and cats. But that's it's efficient and effective. Let's say we were. Carry on.
Okay, so we will rely on your alarm system.
Alarm system.
Always. Sorry.
I could do that. Magic. I have magic mouth, so we can do. I can time out the message to be the alarm.
Yeah, probably you were just very tired from the journey up to now. You just forgot to do the usual preparation this time. You thought like, yeah, we're safe. who is gonna come to attack us in the middle of the forest, right? Yeah, whatever. So, your objective, of course, is to get out of the forest, to get to your way to Baldur's Gate and or Candleskip. So that is just trying to go north. Professor Jaxis, roll me a d20.
That is a 10, straight down the middle.
So you have extensive knowledge about the Feywild, and you are from this region, so you also have extensive knowledge about the different areas, and this forest is not out of your expertise. However, you've never been actually here, so half of the time when you have make an executive decision to guide the party, half of the time it's been wrong and half of the time has been right. So at this point, you don't know where we are. And the nature of the forest makes you lose track of direction. That's why the highest point or the highest reference that you can see from here, a very, very tall tower, changes every time and then. So it's really difficult to have a hold on the direction. How do you think you will have communicate this to the party? Openly, or you will be always, yeah, I'm the professor, so I'm always right.
The sentence would always be, well, you see, with the way things are, the Feywild is readily accessible through ancient and untamed places. It just simply isn't my fault. What people see into that?
Sure.
Right. Okay. So, what way have we got to go now?
What would be my educated assumption?
So,
Although inexperienced.
because you can see where the sun is coming up, so that's clearly the east. So you know where the north will take you, and that would be the best educated decision. Just keep going north. If you just keep going north, at some point the forest is gonna finish, right? So that is your decision.
Yes, unless we accidentally walked into the Fey realm. And then...
Who knows, right? But whether there is a trail or a road that is directly north, that is to see maybe there is road that take you around some really dense forest or around a small lake, who knows. So make me, Professor Jack says, a survival check.
Okay. I'm actually okay at those, so here's to hope. I'd like to think, it's up to you if you let me, I'd have brought a material plane map of the area, as he is aware that although the Fey influence does change places quite often, it is still a reflection or echo of the material plane. So his hope is that if he can follow a map, you know, he still would have a rough idea of where things would be, even though he is aware they do switch and swap. They are still an echo and reflection of what would have been there.
I like where you're going. So what was the check for the survival?
It would be... Oh, okay, a 24.
That it's great. So between your theoretical training and the aid of the map, you can find some references of where you are. Not 100% accurate, but it's like I'm 80% sure that we are around this area. If we found the next landmark,
I am 100% sure that I can guarantee we are here. As you can see, there is this grove over here, And, well, we are here. So, obviously, my assumptions are 100% correct.
Yeah, that tree really does look like that tree over there. I think he's right.
I have a question.
Yeah, yes, madam.
Do your maps account for that tower that seems to be changing places every time we look at it?
No. Well, you see, we know when things are touched by the Fae, they are still an echo, or one would say, a reflection of the material plane. But what the Fae, as the tricksy Fae like to do, is switch and swap stuff occasionally, sometimes. So,
Makes sense to that.
yes. So what we can use is this reference that I am obviously 100% sure of to switch and swap now. And he sort of licks his finger and takes the map and begins to sort of like rip the map into 4 pieces. And right, so if we just switch this piece and this piece, look, we are now how it should be originally, where the tower is now. But if we switch these 2, it wouldn't be correct. So what we can do with hope and prayer is switch the map pieces as they change and the tower moves, with hopes that the land and pathway is correct. Yes, 100%.
So
Is that for me?
let's make some checks here. Professor Jaxis, could you please make me an intelligence check?
Okay.
And Testimonial, make me a perception check, please.
A perception check. Gladly.
Straight intelligence. That's a 19.
Nice.
I don't have very good intelligence, so this is...
And I don't have very good wisdom, so I really enjoy watching the paperwork happen because, like, it's like a book became unbound in front of me and is revealing magic. I rolled a 0.
So, that's so mesmerizing because exactly when you see that the professor is ripping, is like, what are you doing that with a piece of knowledge, right? And but it's also like, if they confuse the parts, maybe I can, like, know how to put it back together, but you have no idea. Fortunately, Professor Jaxis has done this before, so Professor has a system, or probably he had some marks just to put it back together. So we are safe that the map, although it's broken, he can put it back together as it's supposed to be, rather than the other way around. We know. There was some statements here about the fairies. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
I do not take kindly to being called tricksy and changing things around. I am very logical, thank you very much. I have discipline. Not all fae are gonna just trick you into stealing your shoes. General assumption, I'm just saying.
No, general assumption. I appreciate it, and I apologize for making an all-round assumption. Please forgive my transgressions, and I will not, or I will endeavor to not make that same mistake with you. We know I'm just speaking of my own experiences. Obviously, you yourself are not in any way that case.
I mean,
Well,
you say
could you-
that, but there was an archfey that tricked my adopted dad into taking me on out of the Fae. So, or is it a deal? It's one of the two. It's either a trick or a deal. It depends on how you look at it.
No, Garnet, you don't understand. We are, although we still may think we are both right, what we are doing is being polite. And even though we believe we are correct, we are still caring for Winnow's feelings and politely apologize. I see.
Right. Okay. Sorry. That was completely went
So
right over my
we'll
head.
do this. So Winnow, I would like to apologize again forthwith for my outburst while you were still in our presence, and basically he's just going to go on and apologize for the original transgression. Apologize for the fact that he clearly wasn't apologizing, he was just pandering to you. And then he'll apologize for insulting your intelligence, and he just goes and goes until he kind of gets himself stuck in his own circle.
Professor, I will forgive you very generously on 2 conditions. 1,
Yes?
never get into an apology cycle again. Please, once is enough. 2, give me your shoes.
Testimonial looks up from the notes because he's been transcribing the entire conversation.
I would say, like, well, yeah, no, of course, that sounds like fun to start. I've always wanted to feel the breath of fresh in between my toes, and he will proceed to take his shoes off and give you them, because he is terrified of you.
As you lean down to your shoes, you see that Roger is already at your feet untying your shoelaces.
Ah, delightful little fellow, delightful.
So let's make canon that Roger has opposable thumbs, right?
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise,
Oh yeah.
on a really
chewing right with
nimble
laces.
tail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Using the tail is the thumb to do it.
Nice, beautiful. Testimonial and Professor Jaxis. So one with the high intelligence and one with the high expertise in the Feywild. And you've been traveling few days now with Winnow, who's clearly a changeling. You haven't seen Winnow changed. Have Winnow could have shared about why they cannot change?
Asked. But they're not often without the mask, but they were caught by surprise, so they haven't got it on right now. So as this whole thing's going on, they tie the shoes around the neck to kind of keep them there for the moment, as a trophy. Kind of goes to get the mask to replace it, just a little embarrassed.
Jaxis is terrified of them, so I doubt it. But that's not just them. Jaxis is generally terrified of most people, but yeah, specifically Winnow, who likes to put him firmly back in his place.
Testimonial admires the crafts, the crafting of the mask, because he was very interested in stagecraft, and so it's just, now Winnow is back to the Widow that he's already seen and doesn't ask any questions, because why bother people backstage or even emotionally backstage when they're not ready for the adventure. So I'm just like, there you are. There you are, Widow.
There you go. Nice. So with all of that lovely conversation, I guess it happened while you are, if not energetically walking, following Professor Jax's indications, and you start walking to where you think the north is. And as Professor Jaxis is walking out barefoot,
I found a phone.
I'll grow
who is the
palaces.
ball bearing? As a latrine, you're gonna have spec to have a more deeper connection with nature, and if in case the Feywild is closed, but actually going barefoot feels like walking on cardboard, like artificial, some sort of thing. At the first, it doesn't, you don't pay much attention to it, but the further you walk, it starts being a little bit annoying, just like, this is not what it's supposed to be. Garnet, you've been also connected a little bit with the Feywild. From time to time, you don't get lost, but sort of like are pulled to the direction. When you find yourself walking maybe 10, 15 feet away from your comrades, you come to that realization and you just quickly walk back to them. That is really obvious for the rest of you. It's not that Garnot is like a hard to see individual, especially with the skin color and the armor, and Roger, obviously, because everybody's just keeping an eye on Roger. So yeah, from time to time, you see that Professor Jax is a little uncomfortable, and that Garnot just, what is Garnot? And then suddenly it's back to you.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, these bloody headaches are doing my head in. Get it? Headaches?
Feeling-
Head in? No? Okay.
You feeling alright, Garnot? Did you get hit in the head during that
Well,
altercation?
I did a few times. It felt like my head was repeatedly bouncing off the floor a couple of times, but I've had these headaches since we came into this forest. I don't know what it is. It's a bit odd.
Does that sound familiar at all to me?
Oh,
I think I may have read.
make me a history check. What is the answer that you're looking for? Or what is the question?
Does losing track of or losing focus, traveling through what I guess he is assuming is a Fey crossing, is that usual?
It could be usual if that could happen like in the same position, but you've been moving, so it's more that Garnot has like a different let's say if you would both have a compass, your compass will point north always, while Garnot's compass would change north every now and then. So that would be like Garnot thinking this is north, but whether that is a fake cross, maybe, but
Would I potentially think that Garnot is the one that's actually walking in the correct direction, and we're not? Like Garnot's actually following where the tower is moving to, and we're not.
how do you think Professor Jaxis would discover that or investigate that?
So, just some food for thought, Garnot. How do you feel when you change direction randomly and walk slightly ajar?
I mean, now that you mentioned food, I feel hungry. But
Oh, I've got some jerky. Bear with me.
oh yes,
Sorry,
yeah.
I left them in my pajamas. I'll get it for you later.
Fair enough. Yeah. How do I feel when I wander off?
Yes.
I don't even know I've wandered off. It's like I sort of snap to and go, oh hello, them lot are over there. So I sort of run back to you lot.
So, testimonial. I have a theory I would like to pass to both for thought. What if Garnot is actually following in the correct direction of straight, and because we're paying more attention and directly trying to push towards a target, maybe Garnot is the one that is actually walking in the correct direction?
Maybe we should be aligning the map with his
Yes.
steps.
This is my thought.
I think we can take some notes, and we can, sounds dramatic and plausible. And Garnot is we traveled together many a month, and
Has Garnot done this
sense of
before?
direction. No, his sense of direction has always been impeccable, though. So
I mean, I get lost a lot when I travel between cities. So I mean, this could
That'll
probably
explain
explain
it.
it. So
we always
explain it.
find something.
Oh, so you have been lost before, and so you're just bringing in new factors into this.
Well, I wouldn't
calculated
necessarily
period.
say I've been lost before. I've set a destination and then ended up somewhere else. Like I was meant to go to Baldur's Gate and I ended up in Waterdeep, which are in...
What if, now bear with me, you're being pulled by fate into different directions that you didn't intend to go, but you get to where you need to be?
Oh gosh, I'm going to be sick.
I mean, do you want to test it? I mean, I can't just like click it on just like that sort of thing. I'm gonna have to walk for a little bit and then just let me wander off. I don't know how
Quite
long that's
frankly,
gonna be.
with the map ripping, we've only made so much progress. So maybe a change in tactics is what we need right now.
Yes, and obviously it was my astute notation of the change in circumstances. So clearly, I'm still following the correct path, as I've just noticed a new epiphany before us.
Of course, Professor, get like a tap on the back.
Oh.
Little patronising. Don't know if you pick up on it or not.
No, he doesn't. He's just like, oh, yes.
Right, so you just want me to keep walking, and then you're just going to follow me, yeah?
Yes, Testimonio, if you don't mind, good sir, would you take some extensive notes of Garnet's path? For us to review later.
Gladly. So I'll use a different ink from the one that we've already been using for the notations, and I'll mark off the branching paths, and maybe like we've gotten lost together before, I'll walk just behind and scour the bushes, because I'm going to need more materials for my next round of quills. And he sort of natters on and on about the techniques of calligraphy and the techniques of craftsmanship, which Garnet's never complained, but often this sort of sets a background noise for people's minds to wander, although I remain laser focused on the task of finding fun thorns to write with.
So I'll lead the way this now, but for the first, 15 to 30 minutes, I'm really thinking about where I'm walking instead of just letting myself drift. And I'm almost walking like a toy soldier, like one leg in front of the other like that. I will eventually. And then when I get a bit more comfortable with the fact that that we're trying to rely on me just being away with fairies effectively, eventually I will drift. You'll notice when it starts, because I start rubbing my head and then I'll open my eyes and I'm gone in a different direction.
So at the beginning, that as this stiffness is taking over Garnet for the overthinking, you realized for the other three that you've been actually walking in circles, but the three of you just like trust,
like with stage whispering to each other.
But at least you know that you are not lost. You can actually track in the map like we're going in circles, right? And at some point, this white aura that Garnet projects when his psionic energy comes to play, instead of sort of surrounding him, you can see that is like a pointy arrow guiding him. So it's sort of like, you don't know if someone is, it's hard to say whether the energy is pointing or if the energy is being pulled, because at the end, the resulting shape would be the same. And you can see how now it looks more relaxed. And from time to time, he skips, he hops, he's like, you can see that maybe every now and then he doubles his left step, and he's like, oh, that's really curious. It's like very, very odd thing, but that keeps happening. And then is when you can see how even in the map you look, if you're taking notes, it looks like you are being erratic. The tower is always in the same position, so at least this erratic movement that Garnet is leading you to is being, it has the same reference, so you're making progress towards somewhere.
The trends on the map are unmistakable, friends. We are
This is
heading somewhere.
This is incredible.
Garnet,
I might be able to present this as a paper. Just
Before that, Testy, may I call you Testy?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I won't be testy about it. So yes, please do.
Okay, Testy. So I haven't seen Garnet in a little while now.
Mhm.
It's been a few weeks, couple of months, but you've seen them in that interim. Has he interacted with any new gods or powerful forces? Because was not doing this when I knew him.
We did see the most wonderful holiday play that took us deep into the underworld to actually see the gods who inspired the play. So yes, I don't know if it was their first time, but it seemed to be a novel experience. For everybody. Garnot has indeed interacted with figures of power. At least
favorable impression or like a binding contract or anything?
No, I think it was more advice was granted. It was given freely and granted, but I don't recall any secret handshakes or stray or gifts received. But I mean, the experience changed my life for sure. It took me away from being a full-time critic of the stage to striving to set foot on it myself. So, hence all the notes. Yeah, you never know where the ideas are going to come from.
We know you're an artist. We get it. Just trying to, ascertain where this power is coming from without interrupting the flow, just in case it is malicious.
Ask Roger. What's Roger doing during all these headaches?
Interesting. Make me a perception check. All of you, make me a perception check.
I'm in a trance, so I won't roll.
17.
4.
So we know, Professor Jackson, you will be the ones telling testimonial of what you see Roger. Roger is always doing something. It's always hands-on housekeeping or doing something for Garnot. But when Garnot goes into this sort of trance, Roger is just sleeping, which is very, very strange. It's just being just quiet. It's almost like if both of them, Roger will only sleep when Garnot sleeps. So it's also like probably he's also in trance, but it's super quiet. That is out of the usual.
I roll to see if I jump to a stupid conclusion. Give me a moment. I jump to a stupid conclusion. Oh my god, Roger is leading us. It's Roger. No, he's being taken over. Is Roger the big bad?
Roger has never done anything but, a scholar and a gentleman. That'd be a strong assumption.
Ratatouille.
You ever seen him sleep while Garnot's been awake? No, never. It's not happened. But now, snoozing like a little baby rat. Is that not suspicious?
Okay, we know. Okay.
Make me a persuasion check.
Oh, okay. 22.
And testimonial and Professor Jackson make me whether a insight check or a investigation check. Up to you.
Can I just clarify? Did you say 22 or 32?
22.
Oh, okay. If we said 32.
No.
Rogue. No.
God, I'm not that perceptive.
You know
Or
what?
persuasive, rather.
Winnow, I think you might be onto something.
I make an investigation check at 26.
26. So,
Roger.
I rolled a 4. So
Professor Jackson, you have a hypothesis to test. Testimonial. You're trying to make, this idea is going to ruminate in your brain until you make a evidence-based decision. So at this point, you don't have enough data points to prove, but at least Professor Jackson is very open to this. It's like, what if? So I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, X, Y, Z. So Professor Jack says, I don't know if you don't sleep, which is good, so you can work at night. But yeah, that is it. And we know if you talk to other people about this, you are very confident about like, watch out with Roger. Not in a bad way, but in like, let's keep an eye on our friend.
Don't trust the little furry creatures ever. True for squirrels, it's gotta be true for rats.
Garnot, you are not being aware of yourself, but you feel very comfortable. All these events that have happened to you in the last few weeks and have not like put you on a very stressful or distressful situation, but for now you feel like in your happy place. Like you even ignore all the no, but they are not being really loud because they don't want to interrupt your trance. But this is just you on your own. And at some point, this you on your own, there is another gardener next to you and another gardener next to your left. So you've just been accompanied by two different gardeners. And they say hi to you. Hi. Hi.
Right. Do they look exactly like me, or do they look? One looks slightly younger, one looks slightly older.
Exactly like you.
What's up? You right?
Where are we going? I need differences. So the one on the left, the one on the right. So where are we going?
This way.
And where this way is going?
Oh, I don't know. I just feeling something, pulling or guiding me. I'm not 100% sure, to be fair. I
And
just feel like it's this way.
What are we gonna do when we get there?
I don't actually know. I think it's going to lead us to this tower thing, or maybe even to the Fae. I'm not sure.
And do you wanna go there? Why are we going there?
Well, it's to help my friends. You see, they're looking for a way to get out of the forest, and we seem to have gotten a bit lost with the directions that we've used previously. And I think the map's a bit outdated. So, but we're testing the theory as I keep wandering off to see if my wandering off is the way out.
As you finish your sentence, one of them sort of turns back and starts walking backwards, so in the same direction. And the one on the right starts getting old, and the other one starts like getting young. So it's like old version of you kind of thing, young version of you. And she's like, so let's say we arrive there, and what if it's not what you're expecting?
Well, if it's not what I'm expecting, then we just leave. I suppose. I mean, I don't know what to expect. It's been I hardly remember my time in the Feywild. I was very small when I left, so I don't know. I just don't know really.
And the small one, well, young one, do you want to go to the Feywild? Do you think that is the way out?
There's part of me that does want to go, because it's like it was my home once, and I've got a family there, I think. So and I'd like to know where this power that I have comes from, because it didn't come from the family that I have here. It came from there. So, I mean, I look down at the little me. I mean, you've got all this to come, little one. But yeah, it's not a great feeling when you don't know where you come from. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a fabulous upbringing and all of that sort of stuff. My family were lovely, but there's always been that hole as I don't quite know where I fit in this place. So going back and trying to piece the puzzle together, as it were. I went really deep with that. I've never been that deep with someone before, but then I suppose I am talking to myself.
So from the outside, for the three of you, it's just nothing has changed for what Garnot was doing before, which is walking erratically through your eyes and hoping from time to time. Back inside Garnot vision, the young one turns back again, holds your hand like in a very take care of me, and the old, now very old one also grabs you from the shoulder in a way like, now is your time to help me, right? So both of them are looking like for some sort of support from you. And at the same time, the three of you just say like, everything's gonna be fine. It's in that moment when you come to this beautiful clearing in the middle of the forest. Professor Jaxis, it's been a couple of meters behind where your feet feel more familiar with nature. Now it feels like even savory, like, okay, now I can feel what has happened here. I know that this place has some history. I know that this place has something to tell. What? Maybe terrible histories, but now this place is alive. We know you also feel this sort of slightly pull to the face, like, oh, it smells familiar. Like, I don't know what it smells like. Cinnamon rolls, maybe? If I were in the Feywild, it will be like cinnamon smell all the time. Testimonial, all of this is new to you, but we will go back to your drawing. Well, to your notes.
Okay.
Garnet, you come back out of your trance and you see this clearing, and it's not very big, but there is a small pond there, few rocks, and what looks like a spring. So it's like a couple of rocks and just a very, very small stream feeding the pond. It's very crystal clear, so you can see all the moss underneath of the at the bottom of the pond, and few animals around. Not too many, maybe like a lizard and a toad just taking the sun, a couple of butterflies on some flowers, a dragonfly coming to the surface, really close to the surface of the pond, living away. But there is something different. The sky is not blue. The sky has like a purplish tone of this. You are surrounded by trees, but the trees are not, the leaves are not green. They are like all the colors that you can imagine. Of course, there is some that are green, but you are clearly either in the Feywild or just in that part of where the veil is super thin. On a second look at these creatures, they look similar, but they might not be the ones that you are used to. Maybe the butterflies have 3 or 8 pair of wings, and the lizard has 2 tails, 5 eyes. Who knows? Just all this weird variation that we are expected to find in the Feywild. And there you are. You feel like the pool has stopped, and that this place is familiar, not home, but all of you feel at peace here.
I'll turn to the others and I'll be like, right, either I'm really, really high, or there's a lot of pollution in this area, or we've just walked into the Feywild. It's one of those 3 options.
As far as I'm aware, I'm sure Winnow will swiftly correct me, but I feel like we may have stumbled across a Fey crossing. A pathway.
It's like
between...
cinnamon rolls.
Yes. Wow.
This is unlike anything I've ever seen. So,
I did wonder what that smell was. It does smell quite nice. So, how do these Fey crossing things work? What do we do then?
What would I remember about Fey crossings or places?
The Fey crossings work in different ways. Each of them like differently. It could be that you have to jump. I mean, let's imagine that the lake would be the crossing. You will have to jump into the pond, or maybe there is someone here that you have to talk with. So the Feywild, the nature of the Feywild is so random that the nature of the crossings are also random. So you could spend an eternity here trying to touch every single part of the puzzle just to figure out where, when probably all you have to do is like ask for it. So unless you have been told how to open this one, or not to open it, how to use it, it could be really difficult to use it. But something that is in the mind of all of you is that going through, if you were go into the Feywild, first, time goes differently, and second, the dimensions are different. So trying to get out from the forest through the Feywild could just take years, right? So yes, you are in a very, I would say, powerful location, but whether this is where you have to be in order to get out of the forest, that might not be the same thing.
Where's the tower relative to us?
It has been always in the south to you, so you know that you're moving to the north.
Okay.
Since Garnot started leading you.
Yes.
I have a quick clarification question.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get. So I think from the notes you sent, I'm trying to get to a location to recover some artifacts to then go back to Sarah.
The opposite. Sarah is somewhere trying
Ah.
to, and then you will meet. Yeah.
And we're meeting in between. I don't suppose that means meeting in the Feywild.
I don't think so. I think it's still like material plane. Well, material plane, Baldur's Gate, material plane, Candlescape. Yeah.
Okay, the Feywild was not in my plans. A little concerned about the timeline here.
No, I don't believe the time warp affects you in the crossings. It's only when you enter into it. Correct? The time warp does only. I hope.
Yeah. Unless you are unaware that you have crossed.
Yes.
But I can tell you that you haven't crossed.
So what you're saying is, let's do the time walk again.
Let's. And we changed costumes to Rocky or okay. So it takes a while for you to say like, why are we actually here, right? But for those that are clearly related to the Feywild, testimonial, you don't have per se a connection with the Feywild. So it's more like, okay, yeah, this is beautiful, I'm taking my notes, but notes. And then you look to the notation that you've been doing, or the sort of the traces that you've been doing based on the map or on the map, etc., for the way that Garnot has been leading you. And when you look at it, it's a very nice pattern, very artistic, like you as an artisan, just like, okay, it's almost like if Garnot is being like using the creative sense as a compass rather than the actual logical part of his brain. And then it clicks to you. You look at the map, you look at Winnow, you look at the map, you look at Winnow, and there is a part of the path that is exactly the same as Winnow's tattoo. And then another part is exactly as the tattoo that Ebony had. So you can sort of realize that, we actually have been following the pattern of the tattoos. And you walk for a while. So this beautiful mega tattoo, because all of them are part of the same sort of pattern, could allocate hundreds of tattoos. Maybe each portion of it is out there in somebody's body, who knows. So yeah, I give you that.
I hold up the page to Winnow, goes, look. I say, there's a message here, or there's a method or a map here. We've seen these pictures, we've seen these And just before, we just have to fill in the. Do we have to fill in the gap? Do we have to look for more similar signs? I roll up my sleeve and I show my mark of scribing, which is, and see if it fits. And I go, Ali, I guess, to see if it fits. Although mine comes from a
It's totally
dragon
different.
mark heritage.
It's totally different. But you have seen it before, so you've seen this style of tattoos before.
Okay.
Maybe you even know the artist, but it's not nothing that you will have on your body. It's very characteristic. You immediately say like, oh yeah, this is this style of drawing.
All done by the same hand. All rendered in the same ink.
Well, that's not a good connection. Considering, you know, we were just about to be nearly killed or kidnapped or whatever from someone else with the tattoo, and they seem to be connected. And this doesn't seem like such a good idea to just kind of walk in, because I imagine death will be on the other side.
I think it's killed and kidnapped. We were being killed, and you were being kidnapped.
The worst possible scenario.
Yeah.
But entering this realm under duress, under kidnapping, is an entirely different thing than going in knowing that that you're safe, that we have control, that we know more than we did when they woke us up so rudely this morning.
Walking into a bear trap, consciously knowing your leg's going to be trapped and mauled by a trap is very different from walking into it by surprise, but the exact same results.
The empty stage terrifies us all. The blank page terrifies us all. We just take a step until we see if we're going to be pelted with tomatoes or acid splash spells. I don't know. There could be applause on the other side. There could be an answer. There could be somebody.
Could be a bear trap.
Could be a bear trap.
A bear trap.
I mean, if you think about it, you know, the tabaxi was obviously sent to get you. You know, if we, you know, if we don't go and see what's on the other side of this, hopefully find a way through this forest and possibly deal with what's ever coming after you. They might just keep coming after you. You know, next time it might be when you're on your own, when we might not be around you the next time.
Preferable, because then no one would end up as collateral. But I had a dream before we were all awakened, and Gorgonor, am I saying that right? Cool. I keep second guessing myself. Gorgonor seems to want to use me in some kind of creepy way, and I'm not particularly keen on walking into that arrangement.
I mean, this Grogorog sounds a bit rough, doesn't he? I said that right, didn't I? Gorgoroth, Ragaroth, Guguru.
Gorgonor?
Gorgonor. Right.
Gorgonor.
Gorgonor. I'm just gonna call him Grag. I don't know. Just call him Grag.
I'm gonna join you in that, Grag.
And you're saying this Gorgonor is waiting for you on the other side?
I mean, I think so. I thought he'd already enacted revenge, but apparently there's a phase 2 to this thing. I don't know, maybe I just need to go and that you guys can be on your merry way.
I mean, that doesn't sound like a terrible idea, but I feel like the guild might tell me that was a terrible idea.
Also, whenever you know me to walk away from a fight, you know, I definitely ain't gonna let you go in there on your own and deal with it.
Well, if I had my way, I wouldn't be dealing with it at all. I'd be avoiding the situation.
This is true.
My priority is to keep you guys alive and to get back to Sarah.
Many hands light work. We multiply your chances of getting back to Sarah and ending this, whatever this is.
So let's take a step back and look at the information we've got. So we have a map that seems to be leading us into this hole. We have a never-ending forest that we're in currently that we can't get out of, and one pathway out. If we were to hypothetically say, let us not follow the path given to us, which the path that was given to us was given by this rather unsavory deity-like thing, what would be a different plan? What would be a different pathway? As I do believe we would be fine. The Feywild isn't inherently an evil place, and it isn't inherently a good place. It's, well, to be perfectly honest, it's chaotic and neutral. But it is not necessarily out to get us, but also is out to get us. So I don't think we'd have any trouble actually passing through. But your points on how long that time may be, or how little the time be, it very rarely happens, but we might even gain time.
Actually, come to think of it, there's a slight discrepancy here. Because being lured into the Feywild by a Fey being, logical, normal. I was under the impression that Gorgonor was an aberration, eldritch being of some sort.
Last time you were talking to them, so we actually never, I think in my mind was like an all one Patreon, but he was taking sides on the aberrations that were coming. So yeah, you've seen that how these tattoos now have turned the owners, so the wearers, into some sort of tentacly kind of thing. So if there is any influence from those otherworldly creatures from the far realm into this old one, and then from the old one to the ones that owns tattoos, that will make the connections between aberrations, Feywild, tattoos.
Tentacles in a lot of pies.
I don't understand, but okay.
So I feel like there is a lot of unravel here. I feel like the party will take like a short rest just to say, okay, let's sit down.
Sounds fine.
The time here is the same as always. You've been walking a lot, but not enough to get them like more like exhausted or anything. So just mechanically, we're just fine. But at the end of your at the end of your short rest, Garnet start behaving weird again. Do you remember that time with the weird noises with Sarah and Garnet? Something similar happens back here. Just for a second, Garnet snaps and makes this weird noise that is unhearable unless you speak a little bit. Does anybody speak deep speech? Or Claire, so you identify that there is like an order and says swim. That's all the Garnet is not conscious about that.
Swim.
I just imagine deep speech just sounds like when Gollum goes.
It's like you've
but high pitch.
A high. Ooh,
I definitely can't do that.
I can't do that. It's going to go the opposite of the helium gas effect.
No, not even going to try it.
Well,
Arnold, are you okay?
Huh?
Why do you want to swim? Who's swimming?
And
What-
for testimonial, this is the first time you've seen this.
Yeah.
What was I doing when I?
Did the noise again.
What noise?
Like the cool.
What
Remember when we were
what
back-
Sarah was doing?
Yeah,
It's-
like, and you did it.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's not a noise. It's a word. It's deep speech. It's the language of the under of the way people speak. You were saying swim.
Oh, I didn't know I could talk deep speech. Huh. The more you know.
Accent was impeccable.
Thanks. I had no
You
idea
think
what I
that-
said.
Do you think it was an order? Like something swimming towards us? At your call.
Are we supposed to swim? The
I mean,
pond
if
is there.
if I'm telling us to do it and I dive in the water,
Just like that.
Oh no.
Like a dolphin. Jump. So the
Donald,
pond is
alright?
not really big. That is just like, so you would say, yeah, I can stand upon it and the water would have reached probably half of your tides. Then that with that confidence of stepping, you just keep going, whoop, and Garnet disappears into the water.
Oh no.
Uh,
You assume Garnot can swim? Has anyone asked if Garnot can swim?
Oh bloody hell! I don't want to do this. I'll go see if she's okay. And I will run and jump, and you see Jax's body sort of spinning like ridiculously quick circles and get smaller and smaller and smaller as he turns into an octopus and splooshes into the water.
Nice. So you jump into there, and it's a giant octopus, right? Or smaller? So I think
I'm going small.
small.
for
So
this one.
I quickly count the legs and the eyes because there are too many eyes for
they making out. And you splash the water, and as well, it disappears into this small pond.
I would like to be stealthy as I go through and follow Garnet, though, if that's okay.
Good. So we have two different scenes here. On the other side, we have Garnet. I guess you know how to swim, but given that you are wearing a lot of stuff and lots of things in your bag of holding or your armor of holding, it's a little bit difficult. But then you feel the aid of this tentacle coming to you, and it doesn't. So from this position, you can see the bottom of this body of water, and it's not that deep, probably 10 feet, less than 10 feet. So if you would be standing, you can just jump and your head would be out, and you both make it to the shore of this even bigger lake. And when you take the water from your eyes, you come to this place that is really dark and gloomy. It's fully lighted with bioluminescent fungi all over. So huge trees that reach the sky, and beautiful cluster of this fungi on the trunks, just illuminating all of the new scene where you are. It takes a couple of minutes for the people that is outside. It's just like, this pun is fun.
No. Oh no, we're gonna need to go in.
We're gonna need to go in.
We're gonna need to go in. I can't let them drown. One of them's an octopus, but they're not coming back.
This is the most I've seen the professor. Actually, I've seen the professor too. Let's go. I'll just pack everything up. I roll up my quills in my book. I've got my necklace of adaptation that I hope will do something. It doesn't. And
But no, we'll just. Whew,
As you athletically, so Wino, I know that you're very athletic. Testimonial, how athletic are you? How athletic do you feel? Which is how it's.
I'm just excited. I'm flush with adrenaline, so I feel very athletic. I feel like I have.
I keep a weather eye on you in case you need to be towed along.
Totally fair.
So Wino is a very clean diving, not much of a splash, just like gold medalist diver. So with that inertia, it's just like a weird moment of gravity where you jump down, but then you end up jumping out of the lake. In the case of testimonial, it's more like a fuck it, and then you bump inside, and the same. So you jump down, but that energy sort of takes you, but not enough energy to take you to the shore.
Oh no!
You're just like, oh help! And I guess either one of the other three just give you a hand and pull you out of this body of water, and you for now are in front of this scene. It seems like you are in a cave, but at the same time a forest. So it doesn't make sense that you cannot see the sky, but you know that trees usually don't grow underground. So it's very weird. And there is a clear path of giant roots leading forward to you. And all of this, it looks almost like man-made, because it looks like the roots are also forming a sort of handrail, and all of this is just very well illuminated by the fungi. And Professor Jaxis, it does not make sense what you are looking at. Could you please make me a check, whatever check you want to do? Just tell me which check.
I guess I'll just go with old reliable perception check. I think that's for a 23.
As all of this is so overwhelming for your senses, not that it's a lot, not that there is a lot of smells or a lot of elements, but it's just like, this is the shit, and I have never seen something different to it. But wait, I've seen a diagram of that specific flower. That flower only grows in the Feydark. And there is where we're gonna end up tonight's session.
No.
Thank you very much for joining us and being part of this rantic Sunday stroll in the forest. That was tonight's show. If you enjoyed tonight, we play every Monday and Tuesday from 6 p.m. GMT. We also play on Mondays and Tuesday. What are we playing now? We're still playing Fracture.
No, I think Fracture's ended by now.
Okay, so keep updated and follow us on our social media to know what it's coming. And you can also join us on Friday for again on 6 p.m. GMT for Talk Together, our chat show, where we interview our players, DMs, and other TTRPG industry voices. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg, and you can find all of our content archive at youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg. There are also podcast version of all of our shows available everywhere. Search for Roll Together RPG. If you cannot find us, let us know, and we will try to upload it in your favorite podcast server. Massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. There will be a link on chat now, so you can join us. Every penny help us to create this content for you. Big thanks again to our sponsors and supporters. And don't forget, we are all over social media as Roll Together RPG. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.